There it is, Flying Tiger Line, resting nearly 3 miles down. The fuselage is remarkably intact after all these decades.
She's a magnificent ruin, 4 engines, and still largely intact after all these decades. Now let's see what secrets she holds inside. Roger that. Approaching the target. Harness is armed and ready for attachment to the fuselage. Getting a solid grip on the fuselage wiring. Preparing to extract the debris field.
The fuselage is heavily compromised, but the structure is sound enough for the recovery straps. We're locking on now.
Stable ascent confirmed. The sediment cloud is beginning to clear below the fuselage. Continue steady retrieval.
The Super Constellation begins its final ascent. After decades resting in the deep, we are finally bringing her home.
We have lift off the seabed. The recovery is proceeding smoothly, despite the heavy silt. We've secured the midsection. The lift is proceeding slower than anticipated, but the structure is holding.
The successful recovery marks a new chapter for the legendary aircraft. It's a testament to the dedication of the team. Transporting the wreckage across the open ocean required careful planning. Every strut and panel had to be secured for the long journey ahead.
Transporting the Super Constellation requires immense precision. We must constantly monitor the cradle tension to...
The marine growth is significant here, particularly around the engine mounts. This confirms the prolonged submersion we anticipated.
After weeks of searching, the team finally brought the main fuselage to the surface.
The wreckage is finally on the surface. We're detecting significant structural failure around section 404.
The Super Constellation's fuselage, ravaged by the sea, was finally lifted. Now, the challenge is getting her inside the transport.
The scale of this operation is unprecedented. We are essentially loading one giant aircraft.
Recovering an aircraft from the deep sea is always challenging. But the condition of this one suggests it has been submerged for a very long time.
The recovery is only half the battle. Now we rely on precision. The laser grid ensures every movement is accounted for as we bring her home.
The data overlay confirms the extent of the corrosion. We need to focus our efforts on the structural weak points.
To understand the structural integrity, we must first map the corrosion. The laser grid provides a high-resolution
The Super Constellation's fuselage shows remarkable resilience, despite the heavy corrosion.
After decades lost at sea, the Flying Tiger is finally giving up its secrets. We're seeing unprecedented levels of corrosion here.
The deep sea environment left its mark. We use these scanners to digitally map the corrosion and barnacle growth.
Recovered from the depths, this Super Constellation requires meticulous care. First,
Beneath the layers of corrosion and barnacles lies the original structure, slowly emerging thanks to meticulous work with the specialized tools. We use the rotary brush to clear the heavy barnacle layers first. It's precise work, but essential to assess the true extent of the corrosion underneath.
The meticulous process begins with clearing the marine growth, revealing the extent of the corrosion before the structural scan can assess the damage within.
The first step in Project Connie's rebirth is the meticulous removal of the barnacles and algae that have clung to her fuselage for decades.
The recovery is only the beginning. Now, the arduous process of restoration starts, revealing the secrets hidden beneath years of... After years submerged, the Connie's skin is slowly emerging. This specialized foam treatment is crucial to preserving the metal underneath the heavy corrosion.
The Super Constellation is a marvel of engineering. Getting her clean is the first step to bringing her back to life.
This stage is critical. We have to be meticulous, ensuring every centimeter of fuselage is free of contamination.
The Super Constellation, once the queen of the skies, requires thousands of hours of meticulous work to repair the damage.
This old bird has seen better days. The corrosion is extensive, but the skeletal structure is mostly sound.
This flying tiger super constellation lay dormant beneath the waves for 50 years. Now,
meticulously clearing the sediment allows us to glimpse the past, but it is beneath the surface that the real history lies waiting to be revealed.
after the recovery, the real work begins. Assessing the damage on the Constellation's nose is the first critical step.
Restoration is a meticulous process. First, we remove the years of corrosion, then we scan the structure to assess. This fuselage represents a monumental challenge. Every rivet, every piece of debris must be carefully cataloged.
Stripping the fuselage is a labor of love. We use laser guides and digital blueprints to ensure precision at every step. Restoring this vintage bird requires a blend of old-school grit and cutting-edge technology.
From raw sheets to the fuselage frame, every component demands absolute precision. It is a testament to skilled craftsmanship.
The laser alignment is critical here.
The laser guides us through the initial cut, but the final placement requires a human touch. Building the future of flight requires absolute precision. Every component must align perfectly with the laser guidance. From the outside, it's a matter of millimeters. But the strength of the fuselage lies in the intricate skeleton.
It's a meticulous process. We remove the corrosion, install the heavy components, and then begin the careful work of rivet.
We're taking the lessons learned from the ocean's depths and applying them to the skies. The craftsmanship here is Restoring these birds takes patience. Every rivet, every pane of glass has to be set just right if she's ever going to fly again.
Next. Restoring these massive radial engines requires meticulous attention. Every component must be stripped, cleaned.
The heart of the machine requires precision. Every component must align perfectly before the final propeller is secured. A radial engine demands precision. Every bolt, every connection must be flawless before we see that propeller turn. Ensuring airworthiness demands meticulous attention to detail. This engine is now ready for its next mission.
The key is ensuring the alignment is absolutely perfect before we apply the final torque. It's a delicate process.
The radial engine demands absolute precision. Every component, like this chrome plating, must align perfectly before the cowling is secured. Meticulously reassembling the turbine is a delicate process. Utilizing the alignment lasers ensures every component is...
Precision is paramount when dealing with these radial engines. Every alignment, every measurement must be exact before the final components are installed.
Maintaining these vintage aircraft requires absolute precision. Every pipe, every gauge must be calibrated perfectly before takeoff. Every connection must match the schematic exactly. There is zero margin for error in aerospace engineering.
The yellow bundles carry the primary flight controls. Meticulous work down here ensures everything lights up correctly in the cockpit.
Precision is paramount. We test every connection, every gauge, ensuring the aircraft meets the highest standards before it ever leaves the hangar.
From the delicate wiring within the fuselage to the precise grinding of the exterior, this restoration demands.
Restoring the Super Constellation is a labor of love. We use the latest laser technology to ensure every rivet is perfect. Building the future of flight starts here, deep within the fuselage, where every component is secured by hand.
Bringing her back to life requires thousands of hours. It's painstaking work, but the skeleton has to be flawless before we can close her up.
Crafting the interior requires meticulous attention to detail, from the seamless panels to the complex network of overhead wiring.
This is the bare skeleton of the fuselage. We start by laying the insulation over the ribs, followed by the wiring harnesses, before securing the inner panels.
Once the wiring is secure and the insulation is in place, we can begin laying the floor panels. It's a precise job.
Restoring an aircraft of this size requires precision at every step. From the skeletal structure to the final rivets, every detail must be perfect.
Piece by piece, the fuselage takes shape. It is a testament to the skill and dedication of the team restoring this magnificent machine. The diver's craftsmanship is evident in every rivet. From the aluminum skeleton to the intricate copper lines.
Restoring an aircraft of this magnitude requires absolute precision, from the smallest plumbing detail to securing the primary structural frames.
Printers. The restoration process is meticulous. Here, the instrument panels are carefully fitted into the aluminum deck.
The instrument panel is the brain of the aircraft. Every gauge, every wire must be placed with absolute precision before the final checks.
The instrument panel is the heart of the aircraft, and every gauge must be calibrated perfectly before she can fly again. Inside the cockpit, the diver meticulously works through the maze of vintage wiring.
Securing the flight controls is a critical step in the restoration process. Here, the main yoke assembly is carefully seated and fastened.
Ensuring the integrity of the flight controls is paramount. Every joint is lubricated and every bolt secured to exacting standards.
The meticulous process of fitting the new control pedals, guided by the laser system, ensuring they meet the exact specifications for alignment.
These linkages have to be precise. Once they're set, then we can look at integrating the overhead panel into the main bus.
From the delicate calibration of the throttle to installing new structural members, precision is everything. Precision is paramount when rebuilding these magnificent aircraft. From the initial frame alignment to the final installation.
The installation of the seating rails requires absolute precision, guided by the laser level to ensure perfect alignment.
Bringing the Super Constellation back to life requires precision. The team carefully secures the vintage seats. The restoration process demands absolute precision. From the initial stripping of the fuselage to the final installation. Restoring a vintage aircraft requires an obsessive attention to detail, from the complex wiring overhead to the precise alignment of the cabin floor. Restoring these vintage aircraft requires meticulous attention to detail, ensuring every panel and wire meets the highest standards of craftsmanship.
The 8-second sequence shows a continuous restoration process inside an aircraft fuselage. It begins with
meticulous work is essential here. The overhead control panel demands absolute precision before we consider the final placement of the beige panels. From the delicate wiring inside the cabin to the extensive bodywork in the hangar, every detail matters in a restoration of this magnitude.
Bringing a plane like this back to life requires countless hours of precision, from the initial spray to the final polish.
Restoring these vintage birds requires precision at every step, from the initial coat to the final measurements.
After careful preparation, the fuselage receives its first coat. It's a meticulous process, ensuring the air...
For the diver, returning this bird to the sky is more than a job. It's a calling. The paint protects the...
In a restoration of this scale, attention to detail is everything. Here, every rivet tells a story, carefully marked for the future.
Once the primer is set, the real work begins. We rely on these lasers to guide the masking, ensuring every line is factory perfect.
Restoring these magnificent aircraft requires patience and an eye for detail. We inspect every inch to ensure the... Securing the edges is critical. Any gap in the masking tape compromises the finish when we apply the next layer. The meticulous process begins with preparing the surface, ensuring every detail is perfect before the first spray.
We use the laser for perfect alignment on the fuselage stripe. Once the red is set,
To bring these planes back to life, the team must apply the paint with incredible precision. It is a painstaking...
Bringing a legend back to life takes dedication. Here at Your Brand Name, we honor the past while looking to the future.
From the precise application of the livery to the mirror polish of the fuselage, the Flying Tiger Line restoration is a labor of love.
Red rulers. The restoration process demands absolute precision. Every inch of the fuselage is meticulously inspected and polished. The lifespan of these classic aircraft depends entirely on the ground crew. Here, meticulous documentation is just as...
Every journey begins with meticulous preparation, long before the sun breaks the horizon.